Hey. Oh, the timer goes, and I still don't get it when it. Anyway, I just had lunch, and thought I had something in my teeth. But hi, it's Liz from This Full House, and my parents made a surprise visit today, and I love when they make surprise visits because they always come bearing food. Not because they don't think that I can't keep any in the house, although with three teenagers and a 10-year-old, it's kind of hard because, they like to eat, a lot, and they expect to eat every day. So, but I think it's a product of my parents, being born in another country. They were born in Hungary and growing up during wartime and stuff like that, where there was never enough food. We were talking about this at lunch. And I wanted to share this with you. Is they said something really profound. They don't ever remember a time growing up feeling full. They were hungry all the time, and I heard this growing up myself. The other kids, whenever we'd have to do those heritage reports, and I do my report, of course, on Hungary. And the kids were like, "Oh, you're from Hungary? Were you always hungry all the time? Your parents always hungry all the time?" And yeah, they were. But kids, Anyway, so they said they've never felt, they growing up, they pushed away. God forbid you push away from the table and say you can eat another bite. There was just never enough food. So I think it's they shop like every day. Even if they don't need it, trust me, they don't need. They're fine. Their garage is filled from floor to ceiling with canned food, water. If the apocalypse did happen, you all are welcome to come over to my parents' house. There's plenty of food for everyone. But you know what, they shop every day. Retired people are so weird. But my in-laws are like that too. My father-in-law still shops like he's shopping for a family of 7. It's only the 2 of them. It comes from their growing up during the Depression. So we were talking about this at lunch. Is that the food choices we make and the lifestyle that we choose to live comes a lot from a childhood. Baggage that we've brought along the way. Now, of course, my parents are dealing with various health problems growing up, carnivores, the good carnivores that we are. But now, at least, I know my family, I'm trying to help my kids make smarter choices that way too. But still be cognizant of the fact that we're very lucky to be able to live in a society. Certainly there's hunger in this country. I'm forever trying to support the local food banks and whatnot. It's just a terrible thing that we live in, such a rich country and people are still going hungry here. It's stupid. But anyway, just the food choices, being able to claim being vegan, vegetarian, and I'm not dissing your choice or those choices. It's wonderful to be able to do that, to make better choices or healthier choices, and not be forced, to be hungry all the time. So, but there's this one story that and I need to hear these stories every now and then, just to kind of recalibrate, my mother, and I've blogged about this before, and she's said this story, and she repeats this every now and then, and I need to hear it every now and then. But during the wartime, the Americans would drop cases of food in Europe, in Hungary particularly. My father was a city boy. He grew up in Budapest, so not so much there. They got the hell bombed out of them. But, my mother was a proverbial country girl. She grew up in a very small village right outside near the Austrian border in Hungary. It was called, let me see, I can say this. Okay, Mosonmagyaróvár. However, the village where she was born, I don't know if I can say this, hang on. Bernlitalap. Hard, right? So anyway, very small village, and the Americans would drop cases of food to these small villages, and my mother's school got a hold of a case of peanut butter. So the teachers lined the kids up and had them hold out the bread, and they get a smear of peanut butter. So it was my mother's turn, and the teacher looked down at my mother's hands and says, "Eva, where's your bread?" And my mom, looked up at the teacher and said, "Well, the the store ran out of bread, my grandmother couldn't, my mother, meaning her grandmother, couldn't get any. So, that was, could you imagine standing on line? I mean, I remember growing up in the 70s standing, waiting for gas because of the gasoline. You had to have on odd and even days. Do you guys remember, am I really dating myself, how your license plate on your car ended in an even number? Then you can go on even days to get gas if you ended on an odd number. Yeah. So anyway, so the teacher looked down at my mother's hand and went, Eva, what am I supposed to put this peanut butter on? Your hand? With that, my mother puts out her little palm, and the teacher smears peanut butter on it. Sometimes we just need to hear stories. Sometimes we just need to listen to our parents, grandparents, remind your children. There's no shame in reminding kids how bad it could be or how you had it growing up, because we're just, they'll get it. They'll understand. I mean, my kids got blown away the first time they hear that story, and they still are every time they hear it. So that's it. You know what? You guys want smoked sausage? I got plenty of smoked sausage. My parents, I got my hooked up with my parents. You're welcome to come over and have some. In the meantime, bon appetit. Share those family stories and share those recipes with your children, and eat well. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. Most stupidest ending in the world.